Diablo, or the Devil's Thunder Slip-On Exhaust. And what I'm not going to do today is show you how to put it on the Royal Enfield. That's right, I'm not going to show you how to do it because it's a slip-on exhaust, pretty easy to do. If you're not sure how to do it, I do have a video I made a couple of years ago that you can watch. What I am going to do today is provide you with all the information that I was looking for but could not find before making this purchase. So before making a purchase and spending hundreds of dollars for a new exhaust, there's some things I just want to know about the exhaust. I want to know the exact measurements of the exhaust, the weight of the exhaust, and then also how loud is this exhaust. Now, some people that bought this exhaust said it was perfect sound, not too loud. Then I saw someone else who bought it who said they bought the exhaust, put it on, turned on the motorcycle, immediately turned it back off and took them off and sold them because they were just way too loud. So sound levels can be very subjective. So what I want to do is not only get the measurements, the weight, I do want to get decibel readings for the sound and how loud it is. If it is too loud, take it apart and put baffles in it. Because that was something else I couldn't find any information on. The company that makes this does not make baffles for the exhaust, but you can put universal baffles in it, but I just didn't know the size. So I had to wait until I purchased it, took some measurements, then went and bought some baffles, and hopefully they'll fit and they'll work. Just lower the levels of the sound and not change it too much. So here is the exhaust. And I got the polished look to match my bike, and I just really like the ends of these and the way they look. Now with the exhaust, they also do give you these parts over here. So they do give you these bracket covers, but they are brushed aluminum, not polished. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use these or just use the ones that I already have. If they don't fit and I have to use these, then I'll just have to get them polished. They do give you brackets. They give you some clamps, some bolts, and these sort of spacer tubes here. And I did buy these universal baffles, and I believe they are 45 millimeters. I'll put up on the screen if that's correct or not. And then also I did buy some ceramic fiber if I want to wrap them, just to give them a little more soundproofing. So the length is about 17.5 inches or about 45 centimeters. And the width seems to be just over 4 inches, so maybe 10, 11 centimeters. Now, as far as the weight goes, we're looking at 4 pounds, 13 ounces, or 2,185 grams. So about almost 2.2 kilos. Now, as far as the size comparison, if you compare this to the size of the stock exhaust, it is much, much smaller and also much, much lighter, with a weight of over 5,000 grams or just over 11 pounds. Hey, how's it going? So it has been actually over 5 months since I shot the beginning part of this video that you just watched. And what happened was I put the new exhaust on the bike and I went out and to give it that test ride and to do the sound measurements, the decibel readings. And I just fell in love with the sound of the bike. It was at that point, I'm like, I am not gonna put baffles in this bike. And I actually just put the cameras away and went out for a ride. I think I did like 100 miles that day. Now, about 5 months later, I am thinking about putting the baffles into the bike. So I do have these universal baffles. And what I'll do is I'll talk about why I'm gonna put the baffles in the bike as we're doing it. But first, I just wanna say that that last scene that I shot riding down the road, getting the decibel readings. I was using a decibel reader app on my phone, and I don't think it was very accurate. So I got another app on a different phone, and I did go get some of these handheld decibel readers. So what I did is I did just take the bike out and do another test ride to see if I can get some more accurate decibel readings. Okay, so I think that test gave me much more accurate decibel readings. But like I said, I don't think this exhaust is obnoxiously loud. But here's the thing and why I'm gonna put baffles in it right now. Now, I don't plan on keeping these baffles in the bike, but I do like to go on camping trips. And when you go to a nice quiet campsite, I just don't want to be that guy rolling into the campsite late at night or starting the bike up early in the morning and waking everybody up. So I do want to lower it a bit just for those specific reasons of going camping and pulling into campsites. Or even on a long trip, it might be nice to lower the decibels a little bit so that way if you're on the highway for extended periods of time, you're not blowing out your ears. So here's one of the unique things about this exhaust is that the back you can take off just using a 5mm Allen, and it's just all these long bolts that hold on this back section here. Now you probably could slip the baffles in through here, but then it would be difficult to reach in and tighten them down. Now here's the thing, once you get all these bolts loosened, you do want to be careful taking this off because it's a pretty interesting design what they did here. So you want to be careful taking it off because all these are separate metal rings with washers in between being held all together by these bolts. So if we look at the end here, it has these 6 bolts that just holds all these pieces together. It's got this beveled ring here and then separate rings for each layer with then just washers between each layer. So you want to be careful you don't pull this up and drop it and the whole thing just falls apart. And then also something I was just curious about is how much does this piece weigh that's just here on the end of the exhaust. So it weighs almost a kilo. Let's switch units over to, so 34 ounces or over 2 pounds. So this end piece here is pretty much almost half the weight of the exhaust. And so I do have these universal baffles I wrapped and slide them in here. Now I did make them a little bit chunky. I may have made the padding a little bit too much, but we'll see. I mean, once you start the bike up, it also will blow some of this fiber out. Okay, I got that baffle in there. And now to put this back on. Okay, now to do the other side. There. All right, so now that I got the baffles installed, I'm gonna start the bike up and let it run for about 10 minutes to give the booster plug and the ECU time to adjust to the more restrictive baffles in the exhaust. Wow. That is almost quiet. That's like a sewing machine. completely different sound. I do not like it.
Start video.
But it will be good for, like I said, long trips and to go camping, riding in and out of campsites. We'll take it for a ride and see how it affects the bike. All right, well, I can't see the decibel readings out here because the sun is just too bright. Take it back, check it out, see what it is, but damn, that is whisper quiet. So listen to this. Wow, it's so quiet. That is crazy quiet. Revving it, and you're just like, all right, is the bike on? So yeah, you can hear the engine, but it is so much quieter. It's not what I would want for my everyday riding, everyday use of the bike. I mean, one of the things about the bike is, you know, the full experience, and the exhaust is the soundtrack to your ride. And right now, it sounds like you have the soundtrack on mute. This is like riding with closed captions. But for longer trips, if you're going to be out on the road where you're doing 70 plus miles an hour for hours at a time, this would be nice. It would save your ears. You're not going to have that constant loud noise and ringing ears at the end of your trip. And then going into campsites late at night or starting the bike up early in the morning, you're not going to be any louder than oh, hey, check it out. Let me see if I can get a shot with my phone of the jets. I wonder if it's an actual show or if they're just practicing. Nellis Air Force Base is over that way. Oh, they went pretty low. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying before I got distracted by the jets. Yeah, I think it was, you know, this would be nice for long trips, going to campsites, or when situations where you want the bike just to be whisper quiet. You have to do any ninja missions and sneak up on people on your motorcycle. These baffles would be the perfect solution for that.